Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am going to do a review on these Twinkled cleanup brushes. So this is going to be a video of how I clean up my cuticles. And so I originally bought the brush in size number 6 because I emailed customer service asking them kind of what the difference between number 6 and number 2. And it really just came down to preference. Number 2 is the smallest size they offer, number 6 is the average size, and number 12 is the largest size that they have to offer for cleanup brushes. You definitely don't have to buy these. I just found that they're easier and more durable than the brushes that I'm used to, which are the e.l.f. concealer brushes. This is probably my 4th or 5th one, and they actually look like this now with the, where am I? Like this now with the brown tops, but they're still tapered, and these actually feel a little bit thicker than the original ones. So these are the newest ones, and I just opened this one because this one is starting to really have a hard time with cleanup. But these work really well, and they're only $1 on their website, at Walmart, and at Target. But I bought these, which are $8.99, I believe, and then shipping is $3 in the US, so you end up paying about $12 for each. And I used Simply Nailogical's Simply code to get 10% off, so I ended up paying exactly $12. So let's just get into the differences between the two. I originally bought number 6 because that was just what they told me was like the best seller and the one that everybody normally buys, and then I ended up getting number 2 because I found it's just much easier to work with. But don't get me wrong, number 6 is actually really good. This is their average. This is the average size, and it really compares to the e.l.f. concealer brush. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so the e.l.f. brush and the number 6 are basically the same size, and you can see that they're both tapered. If I can just get them both in the frame, are pretty much the same size. It's just, like I said, I wanted the Twinkled one because they're made of aluminum and they're made to last, and the hair is supposed to hold up to acetone a lot better than the concealer brushes because, you know, these aren't really made for nail polish use, so these are. And this is the number 6, and then compared to the number 2, I actually do really like the number 6. It's just number 2 is just smaller, and it works easier to get in those little crevices, and I find that this one is much easier to get around the curve of my cuticle with, but this one is actually stiffer and good for around the sides of my nails, so I actually kind of do like the fact that I have both. But if I were to just get one based on my nail cleanup skill and my nail shape and everything, I would go with the number 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply my base coat, and then I will start painting my nails, and then I'll show you how I clean them up using the number 2 brush, and then I'll show you how I use the number 6 to get in the corners. So I've already got my nails painted, and as you can see, my ring finger is the one that I'll be cleaning up. I already cleaned up all the other ones, and I already did my other hand. And the basics that I use for cleanup is a tiny Dappen Dish. I bought this from Sally's when I had a Sally's close by, but it closed down, so I'm not sure if you can... These are probably still at Sally's if you can get to a Sally's, but I think if I wanted another one, I could probably find one online for cheap. They're just tiny little Dappen dishes. They're normally used for acrylic nails and things like that, but I just use it to hold a little bit of 100% acetone. This is from Dollar General, and it was $1, so I usually stock up on this for cleanup. And so I'm gonna zoom in, and I will be using the number 2 brush for the cuticle area, and then I'll be using the number 6 to get around the side. And then I just have a cotton swab for when I dip the brush into the remover and then dab it a little bit so it's not gonna flood my nail with remover. And I've waited until my nail polish has dried, so about 5 minutes, until it's no longer tacky to the touch. That way it won't smear and stain my cuticles. So let me zoom in, and as you can see, this little guy got a little messy. So hopefully I will be able to angle this where I can not block the camera. So I'm taking my number 2 brush and dipping it into the remover, tapping off a little bit onto the cotton ball, and then I'm just going to follow, that was a little much, the curve of my nail, just doing gentle little sweeps so that I can get a clean edge. And you have to be very careful with these polishes that stain very easily, because if you get it under here, it ain't coming out unless you like have to take it off and just scrub it. So just, and take your time doing this. You can't rush this process. And then once it's nice and at the curve that I like, the highest point is matching the highest point of my cuticle, I will move on to the sides where I will switch up to my number 6 brush just to get that little spot very easily. So I'm dipping it into the remover, tapping off the excess, and now I'm going to just really get in there and just wipe it down. And you don't want to keep going back and forth too many times because you'll have polish on the brush and then you're pretty much just going to be smearing polish. So you want to clean your brush regularly when doing this. And the acetone in the dish will begin to evaporate, so I don't like to use a lot because I feel like I'll waste it. So I just use a very small amount. And that's, you might take a little bit off the side, but that's okay. And since that little area is kind of not completely clean, I'm going to go back in with the number 2 just because it's smaller and really just get that little bit out. You don't need a lot of pressure on the brush either, otherwise you're going to be pushing into your polish. And there you go. Cap the tip, and you're good to go. And that's how I clean up my cuticles. After the top coat dries, I will apply a thin layer of oil just on the cuticle area, and then I take my photos. For maintenance of the brushes, since these are new, I've been pretty lazy and kind of just stick the caps on them and then let them air dry. But over time, the brush will start to stiffen and you can probably ruin them in the long run. So what I recommend doing, if I could focus, there we go, is rinsing them off to clean out the Dappen Dish. I don't like to put it back into the bottle, whatever is used, so I kind of just take a cotton swab and let it soak it up. And then I just kind of toss the cotton swab. And now that that's empty, I will fill this up with water and then kind of On the instructions of the package, it says that you can use a nail brush cleaner, which is available at beauty supply stores. I have never seen that, so I don't know what that is or where to get it since mine's closed. But anyway, I fill this with water and kind of swirl it around and then tap it off, and then until the brush is clean, like it has no more polish excess and it runs off clean instead of with this residue. And then I will let that air dry, and then once it's dry, if I want to use it again, I'll put a little bit, just a tiny bit of nail oil or olive oil, any kind of oil, I just happen to have this on hand, just a little bit to reform the brush, and then I'll let that dry, or I'll use it depending on if I need it immediately. So that will save your brushes and give it more longevity. So they do come with a cap in the top to let it air dry, so I just stick it on, and then I store them upright in my little nail caddy container, and I just think they're really pretty. I bought them mainly because they're pink, and I love pink, and they have these really nice crystals in them. These are also offered from Bundle Monster, I think, or maybe they just have like a universal brush. I don't think it's marketed as a cleanup brush specifically, but it does have the crystals in it. And What's Up Nails also has their brushes, but they don't have the crystals in it. But I have seen these crystal brushes around a lot of nail shops, so they are regularly available in other places other than Twinkled if you're trying to shop around and find a cheaper one. If you're subscribed, thank you for subscribing, it really means a lot to me. And if you want to, let me know what other kind of videos you want to see. I know that my more popular videos are basically around nail care, just talking about nail stuff rather than nail art tutorials, so let me know if you want to see nail art tutorials or if you want to see more like reviews or stuff like that. It just lets me know who watches my YouTube channel and what you want to see more of. Alright, well, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!